This segment is sponsored by BitcoinBling.com.
All right, Al Soto, click on this here with Kyle D. Crosby, line producer extraordinaire of Exists, of course directed by Eduardo Sanchez. That's why we're here at the Frederick Film Festival. You must be excited to be here in Frederick for this premiere, right?
Yeah, this is awesome. It's been a long time coming, and I just can't wait for the rest of the world to see it. So I'm excited for everyone to get this first glimpse.
Nice. Now, for fans of Eduardo's previous work, should we expect some of the same elements in this film?
Some. I mean, this is a straight-up action horror movie. I think in some ways it's a new direction for Ed, but his skill and talent is still there. I mean, everything that fans have come to know and love about Ed Sanchez, it has found its way into Exists, but Exists is absolutely, in my opinion, it's going in a new and very cool direction for Ed.
Right on. Now, do you actually believe in Bigfoot now?
I feel like I have to say yes. I've done a number of shows in my career where we deal with paranormal, and I think of everything that I've worked on, Bigfoot's probably the most plausible. I don't know that I believe in it more or less since making the movie, but I won't mess with Bigfoot after making the movie. Let's just say that.
I wouldn't either. Now, we actually have met before on the set of Drunk History, one of my favorite shows on Comedy Central, of course. Maryland's own Derek Waters, the star of Drunk History, was there, of course.
Star, creator, wonderful human being.
Absolutely. Now, when can we see the Baltimore episode air on Comedy Central?
They actually just released the episode order. I know that the first episode is Alabama, Montgomery, Alabama. I don't know when Baltimore's is. It's probably second or third. It's towards the beginning, and we premiere the first this Tuesday.
That must be. Do you method work or method act when you're on Drunk History? Because you have your beer in your hand. So
I do have a beer in my hand. The couple times that I've been fortunate enough to be on the show, there's no alcohol involved. However, those that are drinking alcohol, it is real alcohol. They have been drinking a lot of it. We have a medic on set just in case.
Right, so the narrators are legit drunk when narrating history.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
That is good to know that they're not actually acting drunk.
No, I mean they might be actors in their day job, but when they're talking to us, they're just drunkards.
Right. I'm sure.
Drunkards that know a lot about the history of whatever story we're talking about.
Now, you were involved with Ed's other previous work, weren't you?
I did Lovely Molly with Ed, and I did VHS 2 with Ed.
Wow, both great films, great horror films. Experiences on both of them, both amazing experiences.
Look, they were wonderful. Ed's a wonderful human being. I love working with him. The team that we've put together, we try to repeat on all the projects. We have a number of other projects in development. I'd be very happy to just keep working with Ed. Sadly, that's not how it always goes, but I'd love to just make movies with him for many, many, many years.
So Exists, obviously premiering here at 8:30. I'm looking forward to seeing the film. Is it going to be on DVD shortly after this premiere?
I don't know about shortly after the premiere. I mean, it has to do its theatrical release, which will happen later this year. So I'm sure at some point in 2015 it'll be available to purchase. Maybe sooner, who knows?
Excellent. Right on, Kyle. Well, good talking to you here.
You too. Thanks.
All right, Al Soto here with the sound guys from Studio Unknown. We have Jamie and Matt here. What's up, guys?
How you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Good to see you. You must be excited to be here for the Exist screening here at the Frederick Film Festival.
Absolutely. Never get tired of seeing it.
Never get tired. Well, your name is attached. Both of your names are attached to this film. What was it like? What was your experience like working on this film?
That's got to go to Matt.
I mean, it was a huge one. It was intense. We spent the better part of a year working on the film. The actual edit process was only around 3 months. But months and months before, while they were in production, we started making Sasquatch sounds. Ed would give us direction, make the craziest thing you can. We're going to play it for our actors on set. So I'd go about trying to make the craziest stuff that I could, all kinds of roars, screams, yells, what have you. And then they took those all out on set down in Texas and blasted them over huge portable PA systems to get the actors kind of in character, but also to get this sense that this huge thing is bearing down on them, it's coming from a distance, and it's really it's a real force, a real powerful force. So that kind of helped us start this creative process and then start back and forthing with Ed over, exactly what the personality of this thing was supposed to be before we even saw it. And then eventually, by the time we got to see the film and the footage coming in, it started to take shape and the voice changed. So.
How do you get a Sasquatch sound? An animal, a human, or what produces that sound?
Yes, so the way that we started with the sound design was really, the conventions that have been put down in place, which is a lot of creature sounds. It's, it's lions, it's tigers, it's gorillas, and everything like that. So we kind of went in two different directions. There was this thing that Ed talked about called the organic siren, which was this kind of mournful bellow that it emits that's very much like all the recordings that people have, supposedly made. So we went about building this thing called the Sasquaphone, which was a galvanized steel pipe with a ball valve to change the pitch, and it basically gave out, and it had a saxophone mouthpiece on it, and it gave out this like really mournful whine. It was only used in one scene of the film, but it sells it perfectly because it's very distant. Everything else was very edited, but it was very performative. I spent a lot of time screaming, growling, roaring, getting into character, basically doing all of the ADR and dialogue for the creature itself. So, yeah.
Sounds like a very involved process.
Oh, absolutely. And what I love is that part of the challenge for Matt was that he wanted to do a lot of this in a performative way from him, but he knew that Sasquatch's chest cavity and throat and mouth would be much larger than a human. So how to layer and manipulate to really get that and make it feel like what you would expect. Matt literally is the voice of Sasquatch.
Right on. Now, obviously, you've worked with Ed before in previous films.
We did Lovely Molly first, VHS 2, and then of course Exists.
Wow, so you're pretty much like family with Eduardo Sanchez. You'd probably be involved with the rest of his projects, I imagine.
It's definitely been feeling that way for a few years now, yeah.
I mean, our dialogue with Ed usually on films is very minimal anyway, and I think we've kind of gotten this conversation down at this point where he can say 2 words, and then we go to town on what exactly he means, so make it sound messed up, and then we go to town on making whatever we interpret him as saying. On Lovely Molly, when he was talking about the horse sounds, the horse demon, all he did was, it's got to sound like, and that's all he gave us for the description, like make it sound messed up and I mean, Lovely Molly was almost the exact opposite of Exists in a lot of ways for its sound. It was very subtle. There were a few points of being loud for, creating effect, but it was all about the little details. VHS was kind of our stepping stone for Exists, where they were trying out this, found footage perspective and everything for the entire time, and it was a very steered roller coaster. And we had layers of subtlety in there, but for Exists, it's just a whole roller coaster. You have these moments where it's just every layer of sound is being used, everything's being bombarded coming from every angle, because we wanted to make you feel like you were there experiencing it.
And that's what I got out of watching Blair Witch Project. So I'm wondering if I'm going to feel those same feelings when I'm watching Exists.
Well, I don't want to give anything away. I mean, we're about to go watch it right now. Have you seen it yet, by the way?
No, we're going to go see it for the first time.
Right on.
Right on. Well, guys, tell us where we can find out more about Studio Unknown.
StudioUnknown.com.
StudioUnknown.com, guys.
When you go to the website, you will see a picture of Matt right on the front with the Sasquaphone. I'm not going to tell you what we think it looks like or what everyone says, so you got to go to the site and check out Matt's Sasquaphone.
Also, Facebook.com/StudioUnknown. Yeah.
I'm Rachel Urbanski with Click on This. This is Walker Hayes. Tell us about Assumption of Risk. What's new?
Assumption of Risk is a thriller that just got released. We shot that in Philly, and I got to play a tricky prostitute in that. So, it's always nice to be naked on film. That was fun. Super great flick. Stars a lot of local actors that you guys know. Brian A. Wilson from The Wire is in my scene with me. So we had a lot of fun shooting that. It was good stuff.
And what is this new project you're working on? Tell us a little bit about that.
Surprise, surprise, I also play a sex pod in this new thing, Lonesome Trail. We're filming that here in Maryland. It's a Christian Western, but I still have a scandalous part. I play a saloon owner, so I have my girls that, keep the cowboys company after a long day on the Lonesome Trail. Yeah.
So, what are you looking forward to about Exist? Do you believe in Sasquatch, first off?
I think we don't know, so it's more fun to believe than not to believe. So I'm excited to see what they came up with.
What would you do if you were faced to Sasquatch? Would you run or?
Well, I think I'd have to get some pictures for Instagram, and then I'd probably run.
Gotta get a selfie, right?
That's right. Get a selfie with Sasquatch, and then run like hell.
All right, well, thank you so much. Next to me is Charlie Young. He is the executive producer of Drakul. Tell us about Drakul.
Drakul is a TV pilot we put together, hopefully to sell it to network or whoever will pick it up. The idea is it involves a senator who's running for president, typical political story, typical backers, big business, big oil, politics. There's somebody in the background backing this thing. Oh, well, in this case, it might be big vampires. So that's the Drakul part of it. So you have political drama, you have a senator and his wife, political relationship, a couple of girlfriends on the side for the senator, and the vampire doing his thing, and then we have a competing vampire group headed by Joe Estevez, who is Martin Sheen's baby brother. I call him baby brother. He likes to be thought of as a younger guy, so I love Joe. So his idea is to try to take this out before it happens. So you have all this drama going on, the competing vampire interests, the political interests, the whole political couple thing with the senator and his wife. I think it would be a great thing. There's so many areas where this can go.
Great. Now, seems vampire shows are pretty popular within the last couple years. What is going to make this show stand out? What is it going to make people want? What will make people want to watch it?
Well, I think it's the political aspect because you're going two different directions. You have House of Cards out there. You have things like Twilight, and we're taking this back. Actually, this is more like a Bram Stoker kind of vampire. We're not talking about oh well, let me kiss you because you're cute. No, when these vampires get you, you've been had, and you don't want to go there. So that's that whole very dark side of the vampire story, and thus the power that they can exert over the political candidate to control him. And what they want is they want the White House.
All right, Al Soto would click on this here with acclaimed filmmaker Chris LaMartina here. What's up, Chris?
How's it going, Al? Good to see you again, man.
Of course, your lovely fiance, actress Melissa O'Brien.
Hello, good to see you.
So obviously you're a fan of Eduardo Sanchez's work. That's why you're here today at the Frederick Film Festival?
Yeah. No, I know Ed for quite a long time, and also Jamie, who wrote the film with Ed. I actually I was production assistant on Jamie's movie Two Front Teeth years ago, and I worked on Ed's film Lovely Molly. So yeah.
Oh, wow. Yep. Fantastic. And yourself, also a fan of Ed's work?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I remember when I was a teenager seeing Blair Witch Project.
Oh my God, who doesn't, right?
And the whole debate of, there was this one friend of mine who was like, no, it is real. It's real. I know all about it. I'm like, they're going to show a snuff film in major theaters. Right. Like, I'm not buying it. Sorry. But of course, it's amazing.
Yeah, it certainly paved the way for, I guess, realistic horror films because we see so many other horror inceptions. Do you get any inspiration from Ed Sanchez's work for your work?
So I think Ed is essentially the godfather of the found footage genre, and I know we were definitely Blair Witch is one of the best found footage films of all time, and I think when we were making WNUF Halloween special, I definitely compared how they did the marketing to how we would like to do the marketing for that, and so yeah, totally inspirational. Also a great guy. So yeah.
I had to admit, enjoyed your film Call Girl Cthulhu, obviously for mostly because of Melissa.
Thank you.
But a great film. What's the status on DVD now? Out on DVD now?
No, it's not on DVD yet. We're actually we're doing a screening at the Alamo Drafthouse in New York City on August
21st, I believe.
Okay.
Something like that?
Or is it? No, that's the. We're so bad at this.
This is a great video.
Edit this out. No, I was gonna say, but we're doing a screening at the Alamo Drafthouse in Yonkers, New York, in August, and then it should be coming out on DVD hopefully by the end of the year or early 2015. So.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Right on. So again, another good project is the WNUF Halloween special. Yep. Big fan of that. Very unique technique with the using actual VHS cameras to shoot that thing.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a weird thing. I mean, it's a 1980s period piece, and we wanted to make sure that it was accurate to that time period. So we shot on old vintage, standard definition 4:3 video gear.
So excited to see Exists tonight, the feature film?
Yeah, I'm super stoked. I mean, I remember when I was over at Ed's house doing stuff for Lovely Molly, they were talking. He was getting the samples back of the Bigfoot costume for the fur, and I thought it was so neat, just being over there and seeing the pre-production process happen. That was really cool.
This is Charlie Young. You're watching Click on This, and we're talking about Drakul, the TV pilot that can be found on YouTube. by typing in Drakul, followed by MCM Films.
Hi, I'm Ed Sanchez, the director of Blair Witch Project, and my new Bigfoot movie exists, and you're watching Click on This.